Mr. Ashish Gaikwad, the Managing Director of Praj Industries, is joining in now to talk about the numbers. Mr. Gaikwad, thanks so much for taking the time. Good morning to you. Could you help us with understanding the margin compression that took place? Because that seems to be the one fly in the ointment that took place. Based on conversations that we've had with you in the run-up, or rather with the management in the run-up to these earnings, things seem to be picking up on the ground. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Certainly, things seem to be better than the previous quarter. We just heard the numbers, which was more of a comparison between the same quarter last year versus this year's quarter. But if you look at the sequential quarter, the picture is much better. And we would like to now continue our rigor and execution so that we continue to improve on it. You asked about the profitability and why it is subdued. Of course, the first reason is the volumes were down than some of the previous years, and that certainly affects it. There is also pressure on the margins because take a typical situation of the biofuels, and within that, ethanol for us is a large segment of the business. The ethanol industry is right now going through overcapacity situation. So there is more supply than the demand, and therefore the new greenfield plants and investments are hard to come by, and therefore that's also going to impact at least in that particular segment. However, Praj does have a very diversified portfolio. We are not just an ethanol, one single molecule company. We also have multiple other offerings in pharma, in industrial water, in also brewery, and we are getting into the new segments like bioplastics, etc. So all of this new set of portfolio is in the future going to help us to lessen the impact on the ethanol market.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that was going to be my second question, Mr. Gaikwad, which is that in the past couple of quarters, you've had the implication of your clients pushing capex plans down the road. I'm just wondering, the order backlog at this point standing at about 4,150 crore rupees, the fresh order intake in the second quarter at about 920 crore rupees. The question is only about execution at this point. And what can you tell us about that?
It's a great question. See, we do have a pretty healthy backlog, and that's a testimony of customers really wanting us to execute on the projects where they have invested. The current challenge that our customers and therefore us we face is that the pace of execution has reduced, especially in the markets where there is overcapacity, and so the long drawn cycle of project execution certainly impacts both the revenue conversion and therefore the profitability that you earlier mentioned. However, what we believe is that there are different pathways for ethanol that will come up in the mid to long term, and that will ease out some of the capacity that is already built in. For example, we do believe that there is a space for flexi fuel vehicles, which can take up to 100% of ethanol. There is certainly a pathway for converting the ethanol into sustainable aviation fuel, SAF. And Praj is the only company, I may say, that has proven and demonstrated the technology of converting ethanol to sustainable aviation fuel, and we are very, very excited about mid to long term prospects of these new advanced fuels.
No, that's fantastic, Mr. Gaikwad. Hi, Tamanna here. But just coming back to what's happened this quarter, while the outlook looks exciting, like you have been mentioning, the fact is that margins have slid quite dramatically. Net profit is down 64%. EBITDA is down about 35%. What are the contributing factors here apart from other expenses? What were these expenses, and do you expect a recovery in Q3 and Q4?
I think the recovery will be there, but it will be slow. And that's a fact. And the two factors that will impact, and those are two areas of concern as well. One is as I mentioned, the new greenfield capacities getting built up in ethanol market is going to be few and far between. That is one. Secondly, we also have a reasonably good modules and equipment business, which helps our customers build plants overseas. And due to the tariff headwinds coming from the US, that market is certainly impacted for us. So I believe the recovery will be there, but it will be slow.
To what extent has that been impacted? Because in your geographical mix, I think your exports about 46%. How much of that is from the United States?
Almost 80% of that would come from United States in the current situation.
So then explain to us this, if the tariff situation is resolved and a resolution is expected one way or the other, what does that do for you?
Oh, that certainly augurs well for us, no question about it. But these projects are long cycle projects. So there is a gestation period both for obtaining the orders and then converting those orders into revenue. So it's not going to be a quick recovery, I must say. It'll be a slow but a definite recovery if tariff impacts go away.
So talking a bit about what has been a pain point this quarter, some under-absorption of costs in your subsidiary has also contributed to this?
That's correct. You're talking about the GenX
Yes.
Part of the business.
Yes.
And that's the one which makes modules and equipment for mostly the overseas customers. And our focus in the past was on what we called energy transition and climate action type of projects, which were mostly on the hydrogen or green ammonia or such. And those projects have kind of gone on hold for reasons that all of us know. And when they come back again, that will be a respite. But we are also now pivoting ourselves onto other conventional markets in oil and gas, refining, fertilizers, etc. And tariff, as you mentioned, if it is addressed, then we will see a recovery there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gaikwad, for joining us this morning, answering all of our questions. Praj Industries, there's no recovery in the stock while we're having this conversation. Tariffs is what has hurt this quarter, and if there's a resolution, that would be a relief.